Noise Radio. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. All Noise Radio is an internet radio station that's fully produced by graduates of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. From modern rock to old school hip hop, country to classical, news, talk, sports, and more. It's the noise you can't ignore. Log on to allnoiseradio.com. Fire up the station. Find out more about your favorite jocks. Get the latest CSB news and more. Plus, you can take All Noise Radio with you on the go for free. Just download the Live 365 app to your iPhone, iPod Touch, or BlackBerry and search All Noise Radio. Check out tomorrow's broadcasters today at allnoiseradio.com. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
My way, somewhere in middle America, you're right to the heart of matters. It's the heart that matters more.
I'm not sure I know how to answer that. I've had a lot of people ask what Omaha means, and Omaha is it's a run play but it could be a pass play or a play action pass, depending on a couple things: the wind, which way we're going, quarter, and the jerseys that we're wearing. So it varies.
Heart of matters, it's the heart that matters more. Think you better turn your ticket in. Get your money back.
Hello everyone on allnoiseradio.com, the Zuki and Ruggs YouTube channel, and the Tri-State Sports Guys. It's the Super Bowl 48 Aftermath edition of the Zuki and Ruggs Show, and boy, is there some aftermath to this one. I'll bring in my partner, Zuki, now and get his thoughts on a real head-scratcher. What is up, Zookster?
Caw, caw, caw. This is a Seattle Seahawk edition of the Zuki and Ruggs Show on All Noise Radio. Complete domination by the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday night. Bro, I'm still in shock. Bro, I can't believe what I saw with my own two eyes from the first play of the game. You know what? I'll even back that up. Let me tell you a quick story, Ruggies. I went to the Super Bowl experience in Manhattan on
nice.
Yeah, on Saturday night, the night before the Super Bowl. Good time. You know, a little overrated, nothing crazy. You know, they had some nice sets there with Fox Sports, the NFL Network. I didn't see the ESPN one. The toboggan thing was pretty cool. You could line up with your kids and take a picture with the Lombardi Trophy, which was, that's pretty cool too. So I was there in New York City on Saturday night, and I can tell you, you could see it right then and there. Seattle had the home field. I'd give the ratio of 3-1 in favor of the Seattle fans compared to the Denver fans.
That's interesting. Denver's known as having a good fan base as well. I wanted to just touch on that real quick too, Zook, because this Super Bowl had an atmosphere. It didn't sound like a Super Bowl. I liken it to when Pittsburgh played Seattle and Detroit, and it was very heavily Pittsburgh fans being so close to Detroit, and with Bettis and all that stuff, it sounded like a real home game for Pittsburgh. And I was just about to say that when I opened up about how it sounded like a Seattle, like the 12th man was there. It sounded like Seattle home.
I will say one thing about the Seattle Seahawks. Their fans travel well. Now, I don't know if these guys were bandwagon jumpers or what, but no, they travel well. I was there. I saw a lot of Seahawk fans. They were loud. They were into it in New York City. They were into it, and they were cheering, Go Hawks. You know, they had the 12th-man flags going. It's no surprise to me. And actually, when I left New York City and I came back home, that stuck out to me. I said, man, this could be bad for Denver because they've definitely got the home field advantage. And then, of course, it's no surprise because the Empire State Building was lit in Seattle colors because they had more fans. And I think it was some contest, something like you take, I don't know, I don't remember the specifics of the contest. I knew then and there, I said, this is bad for Denver. Because if it's loud and if this team brings that energy, this could be bad. And it ended up being bad. We saw
first
play from scrimmage. The crowd's into it. They made some noise. Manny Ramirez can't hear the snap count from Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning tries to audible. Whoop! There goes the ball right over his head for a safety. That was a bad omen right then and there, Ruggs. That kind of set the tone of the ball game. And you could see it in Peyton Manning's face. He did not look comfortable. He only said Omaha twice, which throughout the entire game, which tells me that he was not comfortable audibling.
He did. He attributed the first play to the crowd noise.
Yeah.
And you don't usually – I mean, you've watched Super Bowls for years, as have I. When have you heard anybody blame crowd noise in a Super Bowl ever for anything?
Yeah,
it was
never.
I actually think New York accounted itself well, and I wouldn't be against them bringing it back. I don't know if they will because there's a lot of headaches with the weather, and they're worried about it all the time. And look what happened the day after that.
Yeah.
This area got whacked with some snow, which could have been very easily during the game.
Missed it by 24 hours. Not even 24 hours, 12 hours.
But it's not the sanitary Super Bowl you usually get where there's just no life to it. Even in a good game, there's no life till the fourth quarter.
Right.
This one had it all the way through. This is how you like to see them. I mean, obviously a better game would have been nice. But
I'll say this. I think it was a success. Of course, I didn't sit in Secaucus, New Jersey for 3 hours after the game.
Trying to get home.
Yeah, so, to those people, my heart goes out to you. If anyone listening to the show was stuck in Secaucus, New Jersey, I'm sorry. I was in bed. And that was the only real black eye to the whole thing. They got lucky with the weather, absolutely, and that's playing with fire when you come here.
Sure.
But I think all in all, it was a success. Unfortunately, the game sucked. The halftime show was great. The weather was great, and they were into it. The fans were into it. Everyone in New York was into it. I was into it. Lord knows if I had the disposable income, I would have been there. I would have found a way to get in.
Joe Namath was into it too. He actually he jumped the coin toss a little there.
Yeah, I guess he was pumped up. What about that coat? Oh my God! Who told him that was a good idea?
I thought maybe it was his original coat from the Jet sidelines, but somebody told me that that was a newer version.
Jeez, Joe, 1969 called. Wants its coat back. Jeez Louise.
And you got PETA on line 2.
That's a good
it
one.
Was fake fur.
That's a good one. Yeah. Come on, man. This isn't for. Listen, I can hear Joe Namath with that smooth voice. No minks were harmed. In the making of this coat. Come on.
I did love the way he just flipped the coin in the air and what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah.
It was a great catch by the official to catch the coin in the air before it hit the ground.
Oh man, Broadway Joe. I'll say this, Ruggs. Get into the game here. Let's leave all the spectacle behind us. Even though that was probably the best part because the game itself, as we said, was a total disaster. Let's start off from the first play of the game, Ruggs, like we were saying, man. The kick return. I didn't like that from I thought that was yet another bad omen by the Denver Broncos.
That's having a rookie returning your kicks.
I mean, if you're Trenton Holiday, you're 9 yards. I understand it's a Super Bowl. You're pumped up. You're ready to play, man. You're ready to make an impact. Oh, I can bring a kick back. Yeah. No. This isn't about you, Trenton Holiday. It's about your team. You're 9 yards deep in the end zone. Take a freaking knee. Get Peyton Manning to the 20-yard line and go to work. And another thing, maybe even before that was another kind of crazy omen. And this just exemplifies the confidence that Seattle exudes. They win the toss and they defer.
Yeah.
Who in the world? Now think about this. You're deferring to statistically the greatest offense of all time.
I thought that was very ballsy when they did that.
Ballsy is the right word.
I said Pete Carroll feels confident, and you could see it in his face too. He was a lot more confident than John Fox.
Guy. Yeah, he's a confident guy anyway. I think he could be down 40-0. He'd still think he can win the game.
Yeah,
but that was another instance where I was like, "Whoa, look at Seattle here deferring." I actually called them winning the toss too. I wish I put some money on it. That's actually the one thing I got right. If you listen to the show from last week, one of the things I got right, but I didn't predict it in the show, but I predicted it at home. That's one of the things I got right was the coin toss. So they defer, kick the Holiday. He stupidly doesn't take a knee. And then Ruggs, the snap happens. Luckily, Moreno recovers it, takes the safety, which I actually should have kicked it out of the end zone, but it was fine. He recovered it, took the safety, fine. Hey, take your medicine.
But those extra 7 yards were important. If you see where he recovered the ball, not that they were in great shape being second and a mile from the 3-yard line, but it's better than giving up the points right away. Maybe they can run a couple times and punt the ball, get a decent punt.
Right. So, I mean, Seattle gets the ball, and I'll give Denver some credit here. They did a nice job holding them to a field goal, making it 5-0. Mm-hmm. Ruggs, what did you see after that? Okay, what were you thinking? I was thinking that was actually a small victory for the Denver Broncos. I said, okay, they held them to a field goal here, 5-0. Pete Carroll, surprisingly to me, wasted. What were you thinking? Were you as shocked as I was that he wasted a challenge, or did you think that was a good challenge? It looked close. It was very, very close.
I actually thought he had the first down.
I thought so too.
From live look at it, I thought he had it. So immediately you're like, you should challenge that because the first down there, maybe they go in for 6. I actually thought it was a good challenge.
Okay.
I thought it was better than Fox's challenge later on, a little bit later on in the quarter, which
mind-numbingly stupid. Mind-numbingly stupid. I'm sorry. That was an idiotic challenge on
and it
Fox's
was splitting
part.
hairs now because
Idiotic.
they didn't need the timeout. Obviously, it turned out to be unimportant, but at the time,
At the time, I thought, wow. It said, Pete Carroll's burning a challenge. Forget about the timeout. It's a timeout.
The challenge is more important in the first half.
But then, of course, that's before we could predict what was going to happen.
Right.
And it ended up being a moot point. But yeah, I mean, so I'm thinking, okay. They go to the booth. It was close. I easily could have seen them giving Seattle the first down.
Well,
easily.
and the thing is, they advanced the ball, but because they didn't get the first down,
right.
they charged them the timeout, and they didn't win the challenge.
Right.
But they did advance the ball. It was a real bad spot.
It was a bad spot.
The initial spot back at the 5-yard line was not close.
No.
I think the stick was at about the 3.5.
Right.
They ended up giving him the 4, which.
Yeah.
And I liked Pete Carroll kicking the field goal. He's got the kind of team.
He
doesn't feel you're going to score a lot on him. So he wants to put every point on the board. Don't go for it and give Denver a chance to stuff the Marshawn Lynch. Even though Lynch is great in short yardage situations, Denver was doing a real good job all game long and stopping him. They did the right thing, not putting a chance to have momentum switch right there.
I agree, Ruggs. I would have kicked the field goal as well. I do think Carroll made the right choice there. And then Denver gets the ball back, and then they really did nothing with it. And I think another moment of the game where Seattle really set the tone there, buddy, on that first drive. Denver needs to come out there, do something, and what do we got, Ruggs? What happened?
Well, I thought a big potential play happened right after they kick the field goal. They make it 5-0. They kick off into the end zone, and you think the play's over, and you see flags coming down, and you realize that Lockett for Seattle just ran down there and just laid somebody out in the end zone unnecessarily.
I will say this, though. I think that was a ticky-tack call, if I may. It looked like he bumped into the guy, and it really looks like if you watch the replay, he tried to reach out and grab the guy. I don't think he was leveling him to be dirty. I think he was just – because let's remember, Holiday returned the kick the last time.
He did. He ran it out.
So he – and Holiday's dangerous. Yeah. So I could see the guy running saying, hey, Holiday hasn't taken a knee yet, so he's running full speed. He's running. Holiday takes the knee. You see him try to slow up. But, dude, when you're running from that distance and you've got that much head of steam going, it's hard to just stop on a dime. He tries to grab him, like I said.
Yeah, I don't think it was a dirty play. It just was a little unnecessary.
I'm with you, Ruggs. I did think that was maybe Denver's shot to
give him the 35-yard line.
Yeah.
Best field position I think they had in the entire game.
Yeah, I think so. But, yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Ruggs. And then after that, what the heck did Denver do with the ball after that?
Well, they
Nothing.
went 3 and out again, which is what they did the first 3 times they had the ball. And to me, the biggest play in that drive was when Cam Chancellor just basically cleaned the snot out of Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, that set the tone, Ruggs. Good point, man. That really set the tone defensively for the Seattle Seahawks, and that sends a message, a clear one, to the Denver Broncos and Demaryius Thomas. Not up in here.
Yeah.
Not up in here. You're not going to come across the middle with reckless abandon on us, buddy. We're not the New England Patriots. We're not the San Diego Chargers. As a Bronco supporter, not a fan, but I was pulling for the Broncos. I was like, uh-oh. Because man, that sets the tone. It's almost like dunking on someone in basketball or even drilling someone in baseball. Mm-hmm. It's the same way. It's
Zook, I thought it rendered their pick plays and their rubs.
Yes.
It rendered it totally. Once they saw that, they didn't want to go across the middle.
No.
I think it took that totally away from them.
I agree.
And I think Pete Carroll you could see the way he kind of went over to Chancellor after that happened. I think there was some game planning about let's pop one of these guys early.
Let's impose our will on these guys.
Let's get that rub and the picks right out of the game because that's their biggest weapon with all these receivers is to try to cause confusion in the middle of the field.
Great point, Ruggs. I will say there's no doubt that Pete Carroll was implemented that into the game plan all week. He definitely put emphasis on tackling. The Broncos had no yak, bro. No yards after the catch. They tackled those guys. They wrapped them up, and they brought them down. Seattle imposed their will on Denver. Now, Peyton Manning ended up with respectable numbers. If you look at it,
stat-wise,
he broke the Super Bowl record for most completions in the game
and attempts.
And of course, because he was down. Yeah, so I mean, because he was down by so much, so he had to keep throwing. But nevertheless, so if you look at that, it was a bend and don't break kind of defense by Seattle, but they still imposed their will. They brought those guys down. There was no yards after the catch. There was no huge plays to Denver. You know what? It was like Denver picked it up. Seattle put them down, man. Ruggs, I'll ask you this question. Seattle secondary, where do you think they rank all time?
Well, they're the best I can remember seeing. They're 6 deep, if you think about it.
Ruggs, I completely agree. They're the best secondary that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And absolutely. It's unreal. And I think this defense is a top 5 all-time defense.
Yeah,
I really do. They're unbelievable. I can't believe some people thought, this defense is okay. No. This defense is tremendous.
Well, and it's a no-gimmick defense. We talked a little bit about this before we came on. They don't rely on blitzing. Nope. They're not a 46 defense like the 85 Bears where they have to bring everybody. They blitzed 5 times in the game.
Yeah.
They picked their spots. They mixed it up a little bit.
Yep.
They brought some guys from unusual spots. But otherwise, they line up in a base defense every play.
Yeah.
You know where they're going to be.
3 deep.
You can look at their defense and say, all right, Wright's going to be here. Bennett's going to be here. Avrill's going to be up front here. You're going to have Mebane. You're going to have McDaniel. You're going to have Red Bryant.
Yep.
And the secondary, you're going to have Sherman on one side, Thomas on the other. You're going to have Chancellor back there.
Yep. Maxwell.
And Maxwell. Thurman, when he comes in
for
their 9 packages, they bring Walter Thurman in there.
Yeah, he's awesome too. Breaking down the game again, okay, so it's 5-0. Denver goes 3 and out. They get their butts kicked a little bit. Seattle comes back on the field. Ruggs, 3rd and 5. They're at their own 30 about. And I'm thinking, okay, if Denver could stop them here, get the ball back, it's 5-0, dude. You're in it. It's 5-0. Get the ball back. Peyton Manning will get it going eventually. And Russell Wilson sits there. No pressure, and that's one area of the game I got to say Denver just did a poor job on as well. They put no pressure on Russell Wilson.
And they really had none all year long.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah. And
they got Brady a couple times, but they were in key spots, but they really didn't even pressure him
without Von Miller. Without Von Miller. They really missed Von Miller on Sunday. They missed Von Miller big time, and Chris Harris as well. And he hits Doug Baldwin on the play. The huge gainer there to get him down to the 5-yard line. You're thinking, oh man, right when you thought Denver was going to hold him, Seattle gets a huge play, and then Seattle though shoots themselves in the foot. The first play after they get a holding call, and I'm like, wow, what are you doing there? It's like you're up 5-0. It's like you just had a big play, and again you get a holding call. It was very reminiscent of the Saints game.
Well, I was even going to say it brought memories back of the last time they were in the Super Bowl. They kept looking like they were going to score in Super Bowl 40 against the Steelers, and they kept getting holding calls and all kinds of penalties, which they later kind of had some sour grapes on, didn't think the officiating was all that good. But these were legit calls. I'm not going to – there was no doubt about Giacomini holding them there.
Oh, yeah. That was
the one against Okung was
very
egregious.
Obvious. Oh, yeah.
Max Unger had a very obvious one.
Yes.
I mean, they're a rough and tumble offensive line. They don't mind getting called for a couple holding penalties,
especially when you're up by 20.
Right, 9. To try to impose their will on the defensive line.
But I thought that was a big penalty, and they ended up having to kick it again.
Yep.
And here you go. I mean, it's 8-0, and you're thinking, okay, it's 8-0, Peyton. Go out there and do your thing, and he gets the ball, 3rd down. And like I said last week on the show, Peyton Manning, when you put pressure on him, get up in his face, he gets some happy feet. He starts dancing. He starts square dancing. And that's not good for a quarterback. And he sits there, he had pressure up the middle, and he looks up, throws it to Julius Thomas, intercepted. That was one recipe of success, that we analyzed last week on the show. We said, listen, get to him. Hit him, force him into bad throws. Unfortunately for Peyton Manning, this is not the defense that you want to force the throw.
Well, especially, Zook, because Peyton Manning is who he is. He's not Kaepernick. He's not an RG3. Somebody that's going to scare you and you have to commit a spy to. They were able to take KJ Wright, take Malcolm Smith, and basically drop him back into coverage. Yeah. He was throwing into 6-man defensive backs, sometimes on 3rd and longs, he'd be throwing into 7 or 8, even 8 guys. Very tough, even for Manning, whose arm strength is starting to slowly decline. Even though he had an outstanding season, an all-time historic season, his arm strength isn't what it was 7, 8 years ago. Everybody knows that. With the surgery on the neck and all that. I mean, it's just age. But when you're throwing into a stacked deck like that, and they're getting pressure with the front 4, forget about it. Nobody's going to be able to do that.
No, I got to say, I mean, if you watch the replay like I've watched a few times, and you try to analyze it, he did have Julius Thomas. There was a small window for Julius Thomas there, but it looks like Julius Thomas just kept running his route, he didn't cut his route off. You know, he had his head down.
Well, he's a rookie also.
And he's a rookie. And that's exactly. Good point, Ruggs. I'm sure with age, he'll learn to keep your eyes, look at the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Maybe he was looking for an opening, but he had some room there. If he turned around, I think he may have been able to make a play on the ball. But it is what it is. The pressure got to him. Manning forced it. And it got picked. We know what happened after that. Seattle was able to drive down the field there. And then they were able to put the ball in the end zone. A big play for me was
well, you had the pass interference in the end zone.
That was a big one.
On Tony Carter.
On 3rd and 4. Yeah.
This is now we've moved into the beginning of the second quarter because this drive, after the interception was late in the first quarter. Again, 3rd down conversions. Russell Wilson did it all day to the Broncos, just kind of sticking the dagger in. Yep. Denver needed to get off the field. Couldn't get off the field. They get down to the red zone, throwing in the end zone. No doubt about it. It was a pass interference.
Oh, yeah.
Carter never turned around.
It definitely was. He grabbed him, too.
Yeah, and it set up the 1st and goal from the 1-yard line.
The Marshawn Lynch touchdown run, which I thought really that was almost, I think that was a dagger before the death blow, that pass interference. Because at least, again, if you hold Seattle there to a field goal, it's 11-0.
Right, and Lynch was having a lot of trouble getting going.
Oh, Denver did a great job. Yeah. They shut him down the entire game, which makes this game even more bizarre that they were able to neutralize Marshawn Lynch, and they still got crushed. This was one of the most bizarre games I've ever seen. They go there and make it 15-0, and then, Denver gets the ball back. We know what happens. Penalty here.
And they finally get a first down with 10:35 to go in the second quarter.
Embarrassing.
You'd have made a lot of money betting that Denver wouldn't have a first down in the first quarter.
Shocking. And that's shocking to me. I thought they were going to have a first down right in the first drive there when when Seattle deferred the ball to them, let alone that,
sure.
At that point of the game. Unreal. And then, of course, we know Peyton Manning, again, got pressured, got hit in the arm by Clint Averill there. Was it Averill that hit him in the arm? Yeah, it was Averill that hit him. And, throws it up, and what do you know? Guess who's there underneath the ball? Eventual Super Bowl MVP.
What a postseason for
and
this guy.
NFC Championship hero, Malcolm Smith. Unbelievable. Guy has a nose for the ball, and that's one thing we said at on the show last week. These guys are the ball hawks. If that ball is floating in the air, there's a 9 out of 10 chance a Seahawks going to come up with it. And the ball hawks did it again. Malcolm Smith grabs it and goes to the show, takes to the end zone, and that was really the death blow at that point. I didn't see Denver having really maybe a marginal chance to come back. But when you're 22-0 against a defense like that, and all these, terrible plays have occurred for the Denver Broncos, anything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah, and they immediately fumbled a kickoff and get.
Well, luckily he was down by contact.
It did. They were able to booth review it, and
And then they actually had a nice drive there. Denver actually did end up driving the ball, and they showed some life on offense. After that, it looked like Payton said, okay.
And then Zane Beadles gets called for tripping Red Bryant, which just killed that drive.
Oh, my God. What a stupid penalty that was, Beadles.
Bad night all around for the offensive line of Denver.
What a nightmare. They really they didn't help Peyton Manning out at all. And but it's Peyton's fault. It's Peyton's fault that his offensive line can't block, and his offensive line commits dumb penalties and stuff like that. And it's Peyton's fault that Manny Ramirez snapped the ball over his head. It's Peyton's fault. Everything's his fault. And then, 4th and 2. Crazy enough, Ruggs. What do you think, man? I know it's not much of a controversy. I'm splitting hairs here. Think they should have kicked it. It was 1:06 to go in the half. I know you're down 22. What do you think? You think you kick it, just get some points on the board before the half, or you think they did the right thing, just going for it, try to get 7 there?
I thought they did the right thing.
Yeah, when you're down 22.
Especially since you're kicking the second half kickoff away because of the deferring by Seattle, which looks totally brilliant, especially when the other team promptly snaps a safety on you on the first play, snaps it through the end zone. It looks like genius by Pete Carroll. But I like going for it there. You got to get something going in. You're giving the ball away 22-3, and you're kicking off. Doesn't really get you back into the game. Chris Clemens tips the pass. Another guy. Chris Clemens is an A-list starter, free agent pickup by any team as a pass rusher from the defensive end spot. Almost flies under the radars. Almost has anonymity in Seattle because their defense is so stacked with guys.
Yeah,
comes in and gets to Peyton Manning, clips him just enough, gets the ball and.
Yeah.
Puts it
Tell you,
down.
there was a lot of plays there, a lot of sloppy plays. Like, you look here, in that first half for Denver. Moreno, that's right. It was 2nd and 5 on that drive right before Manning threw the first pick. Moreno fumbled on 2nd and 5. Then it turned it into instead of like 3rd and 3, it turned it into 3rd and 7.
Yeah,
which is what Manning threw that first pick there. Percy Harvin really made an impact, especially on go-around plays. They had an end-around that went for 30 yards early in the game there.
The first drive. Very important.
And then, of course, we know what happened after the Bruno Mars entertaining halftime show, which I actually pretty much liked. I wasn't a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I didn't get that mix too much.
It was a weird combination.
Weird combo, right? Where's the correlation between the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Bruno Mars?
They're the only guys that were willing to go shirtless in the weather in New York in February, so they said, come on.
I guess so, bro. But whatever. It was actually the best part of the game. I mean, because the commercials sucked, too.
Yeah, they really weren't.
That really was the best part of the game, was that halftime show. And, and then, of course, we know what happens. Matt Prater kicks the ball off.
A guy who's
that was one of the worst kickoffs I've ever seen in my life.
He's got an unbelievable leg.
Why are you?
It. I think they were hoping. I'm going to tell you right now. They were hoping the ball hit the ground and they got a turnover somehow because they wanted the ball. They didn't like that they were kicking off down 22-0. That's the only thing I can think of. And then they don't tackle.
Bizarre. It really
hurt
bizarre.
them.
But you know what, Ruggs? You know what I've learned? That was Peyton Manning's fault. That's on Peyton. That's on Peyton because he should have told Matt Prater to kick the ball out of the end zone. He should have told the Denver special teams to tackle Percy Harvin.
I actually thought that was their version of the onside kick because I was thinking, unfortunately for them, it's been done before.
Right.
So they're going to be expecting you to onside kick it to try to turn momentum around. But I almost thought that was their solution to not onside kicking, was to try this pooch and see if it hits the turf and takes a crazy bounce.
Yeah, maybe it took a bounce, hits a Seahawk, and they pick it up and they get good field position.
But again, it doesn't show you that they're confident that they're going to come back and win. It shows you like they're grasping at straws.
Yeah, that was desperation. Just kick the ball off. You got time. You got a great offense. You're down 22-0. But come on, that's not insurmountable.
No.
With a whole half to go?
No, you got
That's just a stupid that was really dumb. And I got to say, through and through, top to bottom, coaching, Fox, if I'm going to hand out grades for this Super Bowl, I'm going to hand them out right now. Fox, F. Del Rio, F. Special teams, F. Offensive line, F. Okay? The only guys that did anything, okay, were
the front four on the run stop.
The front four of Denver, okay, stopping Lynch, not putting pressure on Wilson.
No,
and the linebacking core, you guys did nothing on Russell Wilson. He was running around, making throws. Your secondary, F.
Yeah,
when you have 5 missed tackles on Jermaine Kearse on a touchdown,
brutal.
That was humiliating. Forget embarrassing. Yeah, and the fact that Peyton Manning wants to sit here after the game, which, let me tell you, I know what Peyton Manning's doing here. Okay, we all know it. He's a classy guy. Okay?
He's deflecting.
Not just
stuff off the team.
Yeah, right? He's deflecting, and he's not going to throw his guys under the bus. If Peyton Manning sits in front of a microphone and says, "Oh, this was embarrassing," he's throwing his guys under the bus. He's not going to do that to his teammates. He's a great leader. He's going to say, "Oh, that's a little strong. We just had a bad night." No, Peyton, you guys were embarrassing. That was humiliating. That's one of those Super Bowls that you omit from your memory.
They should be embarrassed. Unfortunately, even people that root for them are embarrassed today. This week.
You know what else was pretty funny? The tweets. If I could share some of the tweets with you later after we break down the second half. But we'll break down the second half real quick here. Not much to really talk about. The kick return makes it 29-0. At that point,
it was lights out.
At that point, that was that was the death blow. That was the stake in the heart of the Denver Broncos. But of course, I had pizza. I had people over. And it's like, well, I don't want to kick people out this early, so we're gonna grin and bear it. And I'm hoping for a comeback. I'm hoping. Didn't happen.
Yeah, Richard Sherman almost pick off Manning. Then he gets a couple plays later. He ends up injured. Comes back in the game, gets injured again later, and is out. And we'll monitor that injury in the off season, but I don't think it's anything that's going to keep him out of OTAs.
Yeah. Got to say, the next drive by the Denver Broncos is actually something I just remembered. Actually, this one told me all I needed to know about the Denver Broncos and how they felt. You're down 29-0. 29-0, right? You get the ball. 3rd and 10. You run it.
And then punt.
You run. Peyton Manning, really bizarre. 3rd and 10, you hand it off. Yeah. Whoa. That was really that right there. When people say the Denver Broncos quit, that's quitting. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to call Peyton Manning a quitter, but that's quitting. They
ran it a lot. The fourth quarter was the quarter they ran the most times.
Yeah, when they're down by 36.
They ran for the game 14 times for 27 yards, which is putrid.
Why would you even...
That's embarrassing.
Why would you even run the ball? I don't know, man.
But I think really, 6 of their 14 attempts were in the fourth quarter.
Really, just a real bad job. And then, of course, to cap it off, of course, we covered the poor tackling and the cursed touchdown that made it 36-0. And then, of course, Denver, finally gets the ball and puts it in the end zone, miraculously enough. And, of course, they have to try an onside kick, which is fine. And then Seattle gets the ball, another touchdown drive to Doug Baldwin there, right? Is that what happened there, Ruggs? Or?
Yeah, well, then the only thing that happened in between there was Demarius Thomas's fumble. He had a great game. I'll give him that. But that fumble was inexcusable.
Yes. Maxwell
just punched it out with one hand. I mean, he wasn't holding the ball. He didn't have it cradled. He was just holding it out there, and Maxwell just punched it.
Can't do that against this Seattle Seahawks defense. You can't sit there and you can't be careless with the football. Yes, Thomas did have a fine game statistically. He actually did recover from being leveled by Chancellor early. It probably didn't faze him in regards to playing. Of course, Sherman shut down Decker with that zone and that 3 deep, and Welker really didn't do too much.
No, and later on in that same drive, Chancellor popped him too. That was another one that he came out of his shoes.
Yeah, he did drill Welker there.
Took a shot.
A dominating performance by the Seattle Seahawks. They're your Super Bowl champions. Anything else, Ruggs, besides the fact that Denver Broncos just sucked on Sunday? I mean, is there anything else to really say about them?
Well, I mean, nobody's really in the media giving a lot of credit to Russell Wilson. He outplayed Peyton Manning, and you got to give him his kudos.
He didn't turn the ball over. That's for sure.
He didn't turn the ball over. He converted 7 third downs with his passing.
That is a great stat there, Ruggs. Good job on that. Yes, he did convert a lot of third downs. Russell Wilson was very efficient, and like I said, when he has time and he makes clear, concise decisions, he is a playmaker. And it's unbelievable to me that this young man on this stage, now it helps when your defense and special teams are making plays. There's no pressure on you.
It gives you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it gives you, exactly. There's no pressure on you. But still, on the grandest stage of them all, he went out there, he made throws, he made plays, converted third downs. He did a great job, and he's a champion. Well-deserved. And I will say this, one note about the Seattle Seahawks. You look at where a lot of their players were drafted. Richard Sherman, 5th round. So on and so. Russell Wilson, even 3rd round. Michael Bennett, Jermaine Kearse, undrafted. You look at Cam Chancellor.
As was Doug Baldwin.
Cam Chancellor, 5th round. All these guys, they were drafted late.
Their only first-round pick on that defense is Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas. Folks, I don't care. Much to Michael Jordan's chagrin or dismay, organizations win championships. And the Seattle Seahawks organization, Pete Carroll, great job scouting. He drafted a lot of these California kids, brought them in, built a team, played a West Coast style, worked to perfection. He's a champion. Pete Carroll's going down and creating a legacy of being an all-time great coach, having won a national championship and now a Super Bowl. Pete Carroll is working his way towards a Hall of Fame resume. John Schneider, the general manager, great job. One of the young general managers of the game. Great job building that football team. And, of course, Paul Allen's a great owner.
Schneider learned under Marty Schottenheimer, gets a lot of credit for it. Yeah. He was really his protege.
Right.
And he learned a lot about football on the GM side because Marty Schottenheimer, if you remember, was coach and GM and really couldn't do both jobs. So he kind of appointed, even though he didn't call him a GM, he appointed Schneider to run his organization there while he concentrated on coaching.
Right.
And he learned a lot. He was a 30-year-old kid, and he learned how to manage a team. And
great job through and through. The Seattle Seahawks organization won this Super Bowl. The players did a great job. And one thing I just want to talk about, now that the game is over, what's left? What do you analyze after that? Well, what do we analyze is Peyton Manning's legacy. That seems to be in question to many people, to many simpletons. They want to knock down Peyton Manning. They want to beat him up. They want to tear him down. I say this. Listen, this guy, in my opinion, still, you're going to laugh. I don't care what anyone thinks, especially some simpletons on social media who know nothing about football, who know nothing about sports. They want to say that he's a choke artist, he's a loser, all this stuff. Let me tell you something, folks. He's the greatest player you've ever seen. I don't care what you think, okay? Week 1 to Week 17, dude's the best football player of all time. Now, you want to look at his playoff record, 11-12, a couple Super Bowl losses. Sure, that's not very good. But he takes his team to the playoffs year in, year out. He's a 5-time MVP. The next guy has got 3. That's Brett Favre. Okay? 5 MVPs. Folks, that's not a fluke. Choke artists don't win 5 MVPs. Ask Tony Romo. Okay? Please, stop it. It just makes me sick. My opinion, Ruggs, I don't know what you think. I think he's still, I'll put him number 2 on my all-time list, behind Joe Montana. I know people are going to say, all time. I don't care. Dude's phenomenal. You can't just blame Peyton Manning for what happened on Sunday. Sure, the pick 6 was awful. Okay, he got hit. Okay, he's got to live with that. Hey, he didn't play a great game. But neither did the rest of his team. It's not like, see, I can kill him for Super Bowl 44. You down 24-17, you driving to tie the game. Now, Reggie Wayne wasn't where he was supposed to be, but doesn't matter. He threw the ball, pick 6 to Tracy Porter. You know what? That was a bad moment. That wasn't a choke artist moment. He threw the ball to a spot. Reggie Wayne wasn't there. Tracy Porter jumped the route. The rest is history. Okay, kill Peyton Manning for that. He threw a pick 6 in the Super Bowl. He cost his team the game on that one. He didn't cost his team the win on Sunday. You can't sit here and tell me the Denver Broncos didn't win a Super Bowl because of Peyton Manning. Come on. So, I don't know, Ruggs, my opinion.
They lost because they had the inferior roster.
Yeah, exactly. The better team won. We just didn't know how much better Seattle was, and you know what? Seattle was that much better. Again, I think if they played again, if they played this Sunday, do I think that they beat them 43-8? I don't think so. I think Denver just really had a bad day, to be honest with you. I'm not saying, again, I'm not trying to make excuses for Denver.
No, I still think Seattle would win.
Yes. Now that I've seen them play each other, yes, I would pick Seattle. Hindsight's 2020. But you know what I'm saying? But I can say definitively and with conviction that if they played again, there's no way Seattle would do that to them. No way. I really think Denver just had a really bad day. But unfortunately in football, unlike basketball, unlike hockey, and unlike baseball,
there's no best of 7.
There's no bet. That's it. You know, there's no one bad day, and, we can come back tomorrow, guys. It's all right. It's one bad game. Oh, well, shrug our shoulders and let's go. It's only game 1. No. It's one game. Just like, the national championship game, and one game. Get one shot. But, I don't know, Ruggs, what do you think? Do you think Peyton Manning's legacy, in your eyes, not to these simpletons' eyes who really just judge, you should have seen the arguments I got involved with in Facebook. Did you see some of the arguments I got involved with in Facebook? I mean, are you kidding me? Are you going to start telling me? I got this one guy telling me Terry Bradshaw's better than Peyton Manning. Come on.
Ridiculous.
Come on. Terry Bradshaw?
Can you imagine Terry Bradshaw trying to get away from that Seattle rush?
Come on, dude. Dude, he threw 10 passes in Super Bowl 9 against the Vikings when they won 16-6. Come on, dude. Give Peyton Manning a steel curtain. Anyway, my point is, Ruggs, in your eyes, someone intelligent, someone I respect.
Okay.
Where do you think Peyton Manning ranks in your eyes? Do you think this damaged him in your eyes? Do you think...
I'm just going to say one thing to the people that are listening out there to the show. Be very careful about analyzing anybody's legacy on one game. Don't ever base anything on one game. It's just a fool's errand to do that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
If to me, he wasn't number 1 all time anyway. I told you last time I liked Montana.
Yeah.
If he went out there and did something incredible, then maybe I could say, well, I got to look at it again. Maybe he does jump. And that didn't happen, obviously. But he didn't go behind guys that were nowhere near as talented, like you just said. Terry Bradshaw was a gamer. He won a lot of huge games.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He ran the ball with Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer. He used the steel curtain defense to his advantage. They won. They didn't have the other teams they played did not have the offensive technology to get into shootouts with Terry Bradshaw.
Look,
Stallworth and Swan.
Oh my God, we still remember Swan. I'll never forget when I was a young kid watching Swan fly through the air catching passes, 50 feet up in the air. Seemingly, it looked like he was a superhero. But not to make. I'm not trying to minimize Terry Bradshaw.
No, these are great players. The same thing with Johnny Unitas. I watched films of Johnny Unitas. He's widely regarded as the top quarterback of all time in the era before what's considered the modern era now. After the merger era, Johnny Unitas wasn't nearly the physical specimen and talent that Peyton Manning is. He had a gun. For his time, he was as good as there was. All-time legend, won up-teen big games in every scenario and every spot Never were out of a game with Johnny Nice as the quarterback for the Colts. But let's be honest, you can't compare the old guard quarterbacks, the 70s, and they just.
I don't even want to go there. Yeah, it's very hard to compare those guys. You're right, Ruggs. It's the different eras.
You had to win
defense.
in a completely different way,
right.
Back when those guys were doing it, so it's a hard thing. You can kind of maybe I'll take it from Montana forward.
Yes,
it's tough to get anybody in that era before. But even Joe Montana wasn't sitting back there and responsible for as much of the offense as Peyton Manning is responsible for.
Right.
Joe Montana still had some all-purpose players, and he had a line. When he was playing in the Super Bowls, his line was mauling those defenses they were playing in the AFC.
Oh.
I mean, the Bengals did a pretty good job the second time around when they played there. It made it a very competitive game where he had to win it at the end. And that's the kind of memories you have. Well, Joe Montana pulled it out, drove 80 yards in 4 minutes to win the game.
Yeah, great defenses too, man. I'm with you, Ruggs. I hear what you're saying, man. I hear what you're saying. To minimize someone's legacy based on not winning a Super Bowl, and it's so subjective. It's like people are they just go out of their way to bash this guy. And it's like, I don't get it. The guy's a classy guy. Richard Sherman after the game even said it. He goes, Peyton Manning's the classiest guy I ever met in my life. He goes, I could learn something from Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning went out of his way after the game to find Richard Sherman, who got injured, of course, with a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
And karma. Doesn't karma present itself again? Richard Sherman couldn't go on the podium and celebrate with his teammates, which let that be a lesson to Richard Sherman as well. Let karma teach you a little lesson there, Richard Sherman, who, you know what, I've done a 180 on. I gotta say, Richard Sherman, I've done a 180 on Richard Sherman. And I was snowed in on Monday like many people were.
Yeah.
And I stayed home and I watched SportsCenter. He came on there live Monday morning, and he was as classy as can be. He sat there and he was very classy, very humble.
I said it last time. I thought Fox did a terrible job of getting him right after the game.
And you know what? You know what, Ruggs? I admit something too. I think the emotions got the best of me too. When you get a guy going, Ruggs, look at this. I was arguing with somebody on Facebook. Okay, here we go. I'm arguing with people on social media about, football, right? People are saying some idiotic things. I'm responding. I was in one of those moods where I wasn't letting anybody off the hook yesterday. I wasn't dealing with idiocy very well yesterday. Now, if you had come up to me, right, if I had this microphone in front of my face, okay, while I was arguing with people on social media, folks, I was getting called a crackhead. I was getting called retarded by total strangers. Guys are calling me retards.
And you're all those things, but only I can call you.
Yeah, exactly. Only you can call me those things. And only I can call myself those things, too. I'm getting people challenging me to fights. Ruggs, you can't make it up. The guy was like, come to Arizona right now and fight me. I was like, what? I'm like, first of all, I live in Connecticut. Like, I'm gonna fight you. Guy gave me his address. He goes, come see me, come fight me. The guy goes, Peyton Manning's top 10, maybe. I go, really? Maybe? I go, give me the 9 guys right now. He couldn't answer, so he got angry, of course, like a coward. But anyway, so I'm dealing with all this stuff, right? So I got all these emotions going through me, right? And if you stuck this microphone in my face yesterday, folks, I would have given you a soundbite. I would have flipped out. So. Sure. I think the same thing happened to Richard Sherman, but multiply his emotions.
And just on an adrenaline high right after tipping that pass.
Yeah,
going to the Super Bowl.
Multiply what I was feeling probably times 100 because he's playing football, okay,
right,
against his arch rival. They don't like each other.
All week long he's thinking of how much he hates Michael Crabtree.
They don't like each other at all.
And you get him right after the play like that.
I agree with you, Ruggs. And you know what? I got suckered in, and I don't want to apologize to Richard Sherman because he doesn't listen to the show. We're not buddies or anything. But I do kind of do a 180. I did a 180 on Richard Sherman, and I actually put a Facebook post on there about how, I said this guy's not such a bad guy. And he really did handle himself very well. He did a nice job of being humble, being classy. And he said, again, he said something about my original point. He said about Peyton Manning. He said this guy's a classy guy. And I wish everyone would just admit the fact this guy's a good guy. He's a classy guy. He's good for the game. He's a role model. And people just go out of their way to destroy this guy. I don't get it. Maybe in 10 years, people will look back and say, man, Peyton Manning was pretty special.
That's what ends up happening with everybody. That's why we were talking about.
But it's not happening. It's not happening.
Appreciate him now.
It's not happening with guys like Tom Brady, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just so weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand. My thing is this. I don't understand where the adoration came in for the rings. It's like rings mean. Like, I'm gonna tell you something right now, people. I gotta get this off my chest. Rings mean squat. They really do. Rings mean squat. Who wins rings, people? Guys on the best team. What? Trent Dilfer's an all-time great quarterback because he got a friggin' ring. Trent Dilfer sucks. Okay. And he can sit there on ESPN and try to fix Tim Tebow with his, and he's got his ring there. Trent Dilfer, you were a terrible quarterback. Terrible. Okay? Jeff Hostetler sucked. Okay? I don't care what Sidney Rosenberg says, that idiot. He sucked. Why did he win? Because he turned around and gave the ball to O.J. Anderson 48 times. And he had a good defense behind him. Come on now. Mark Rippon. I met Mark Rippon. Sorry, Mark. Mr. Rippon, I give you a fist bump and I said nice to meet you. But let's be honest, outside of that 1 year, you suck too. Come on. Rings. Rings don't mean squat. Rings. It really doesn't when you break it down an individual. Teams win rings, individuals play. Is Dan Marino an awful quarterback because he didn't win a ring? Come on, people. Wake up, man. I'm just so sick and tired of people going out of their way to destroy Peyton Manning. You know, look, Robert Horry won 7 NBA rings. Is he better than Jordan? Jordan got 6. Oh, Horry's better. Robert Horry's better than Michael Jordan. I'm saying it right now. That's what you people say. I'm so sick and tired. But you know what? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I don't know. Whatever. Peyton Manning's an all-time great quarterback. I still respect him. I don't think this tarnished his legacy at all. And I'm telling you right now, in my opinion right now, Ruggs, I'm calling it a year ahead. Denver Broncos are winning the Super Bowl next year. Right now, I'm calling it. Denver Broncos, Super Bowl 49 champions. I'm telling you right now, redemption.
I totally disagree with you.
I'm reaching for straws. I want Peyton to win one so bad, just so everybody can just shut up. But too bad for Peyton Manning. Hey, the bottom line is this: we agree to disagree. This guy, he's a lightning rod, Peyton Manning. He really is a lightning rod when it comes to discussing quarterback legacies and stuff like that. But
it means a lot to him, which is why it hurts to see him like this, because it does mean a lot to him. Some guys don't care.
It does. It's sad. Honestly,
he cares.
I felt terrible for the guy, to be honest. While I was watching the game, I'm like, this is sad. You know, if it was somebody that was...
The biggest problem I had with him, Zook, was in this game, the way the fourth quarter, they just look resigned to defeat.
How can you not? How can you?
Yeah.
I know, bro. I'm with you on that,
Dude,
bro.
I've seen guys that
they still go to the end.
They still go at it in the fourth quarter. I mean,
but look at everything that team went through, though, the first 3 quarters, though. Look at all they went through. We broke down all the play.
Yeah, the last couple of drives, they just looked like they were trying to get the game over with.
I don't blame, bro. I can't kill him, man. When you're down 43-8, bro, come on, man. I don't care who you are, bro. You're a human. I'm not trying to make excuses for Payne. I killed him on the 3rd and 10, not going for it. Listen, I'm not trying to say Peyton Manning is gets a pass here. He doesn't. He gets. I'm criticizing him, and he deserves criticism, just like everybody else on the Denver Broncos deserves criticism. They played like crap. I'm not trying to give him a pass beating down Denver. What that was, Ruggs, what you saw there wasn't Peyton Manning just quitting.
No,
perhaps he did. That is Seattle breaking their will. The Seattle Seahawks broke the Denver Broncos' will. They broke their spirit. They broke them down, and they pounded them to the ground. And that's exactly what happened there, Ruggs. It's not even so much Peyton Manning quitting, in my opinion, even though it looks that way. And you know what? I'll say he did it. You quit, Peyton, all right? I'll say it. I'll stop kissing his butt. You quit, Peyton. You quitter. But that's Seattle beating them down and breaking their will. That's exactly what happened there, bro. That's what we saw in the fourth quarter. That team had no spirit left. Their will was broken. They were done, and they were just saying, you know what? It's over. Let's get. And you saw Peyton Manning in the last play. He turned around. He took the turned around and shook one of those. I forgot whose hand it was. I think it was Averill. Somebody. Yeah. Shook his hand. Oh, congratulated him and said, you know what?
Couldn't be more class.
But he kept the helmet on. Just walked to the locker room.
Yep.
All you got to do is look at his face after Percy Harvin ran that touchdown back.
Oh yeah.
Watch that clip again, bro. It's on his face. Mm-hmm. You're sitting there. You're okay. After a long halftime, you're hoping, okay, come on, defense. Come on, guys. Just, get 3 and out. Go out there, stop them. We're down 22, but we could come back from this. I'm sure he felt that way. I'm sure Peyton Manning didn't go to the locker room saying, oh, shucks, guys, this is over, man. We'll come back next year, and we'll come back and we'll beat them next year. It's just a bad day, No, dude, I'm sure he went out there and said, come on, guys, stop them. You can do it. You've done an okay job thus far. They really did in the first half. Mm-hmm. They didn't get torched by Seattle's offense. They didn't. So he probably, he was sitting there, okay, guys. And dude, when you see that, when you see your stupid kicker flub a kick in the friggin' air that looks like I kicked it, and and you see Percy Harvin run back to take it back untouched. I don't care who you are, man. That breaks you down, man. That breaks down your spirit. And then you look at the scoreboard, and it's like, oh yeah, 29-0, wonderful. And again, hey, 7 of those points were Peyton's fault. So okay, I'm sure he takes the blame, and we can blame him, yeah, because 7 of those points were his fault. But that breaks you down, man. I mean, that's a huge. That's like climbing Mount Everest with a pair of tennis shoes, dude. I'm telling you, man, it really is. So I hear what you're saying, though. But then you got the Demaryius Thomas fumble. He was still trying to make plays. You know, he put the ball in the end zone. He converted the 2-point conversion. I mean, what can you do? Then Denver's defense in the second half, they sucked. I mean, they were inept. Missing tackles, couldn't cover anybody. You know, you got Jermaine Kearse looking like, you know.
That was some touchdown.
That's embarrassing, dude.
It is embarrassing. Terrible tackling, but.
Poor tackling and everything like that. But, hey, my thing is this, Ruggs. Before we go, I know we're up against it. We probably got to, end the show pretty soon. Right now, Ruggs, you think 2 questions here. I want to ask you, what are the chances we get a Super Bowl rematch next year?
Well, I think on Seattle's side, it's a pretty good chance. Actually, kind of something's telling me I like the 49ers next year. If I had to if somebody said gun to your head, you have to pick right now. Obviously, I'm worried a little about Navarro Bowman.
Yeah,
that makes a big difference. But I like the way San Francisco ended this season, and I think if again, it may be the NFC West might be the battle for the Super Bowl again. But Denver does have some things going their way. The AFC is not strong.
Right, it's not.
Let's be honest. It's a bad conference. It's getting to be like it used to be where the AFC is going to start to be the sacrificial lamb for a while here in the Super Bowl. That bodes well for them. You know, is New England going to be back again? We don't know. It's going to be a lot of that is going to have to do with their health. Making it through the whole season, they have to have Gronk for a whole season. Let's face it. They have no dynamic qualities without Gronkowski in there.
Right.
So they have to get him back. Will Baltimore come back?
They need some weapons.
Will you see Pittsburgh get back into the fold again? I still think they're quite a ways away.
They played well towards the end.
Yeah,
they need some acquisition. We'll see after the free agent,
right? And that's gonna
after
that's
the free
gonna
agency
tell
period,
too.
And after the draft, see if they draft some impact players. But put a number on it. What is the percentage that we see this Super Bowl rematch? Right now, I know it's early.
I'll give it 2-1 against, but that's still pretty high.
Okay, so you give it like a 33% chance. That's pretty accurate. I agree. I'm with you, Ruggs. I think the AFC is pretty weak. Again, we'll see how after free agency and the draft goes. But they're going to lose somebody. Denver. They're either losing Moreno or they're losing Decker. I don't think there's any way they could sign both. I think we'll see what happens there. But I still like Denver. They'll get Von Miller back. They'll get Ryan Clady back. Say if they lose Moreno, I like Monte Ball, and you can always. There's a lot of depth at running back. They can find. There's a lot of free agent running backs this offseason.
Yeah,
you might be able to get somebody on the cheap. You could even maybe try to get Darren McFadden on the cheap.
Right.
Somebody like that.
Well, that's very interesting. You said that. I think the biggest crime that Peyton Manning commits against his own team is his salary, because his cap hits.
Yeah.
Hurt Denver more than
he could restructure. Maybe who knows?
Maybe that's what's going to come to. But
and maybe he will. Maybe
I thought it was funny. They said Russell Wilson's cap hit was about $800,000, and Peyton Manning's is $20 million.
Yeah, Russell Wilson made $600,000.
So look at how many guys can you get with an extra $19.2 million?
And Richard Sherman made $600,000 this year. Combined, Russell Wilson and Richard Sherman made $1.5 million. Organizations win championships.
Very good point.
Yep. But yeah, I put it about the same ratio. I'll say I'd say 50-50, because I could easily see Denver winning the AFC again next year. I really could. I don't think New England's that great. I think that ship sailed. I don't believe in Cincinnati. I don't believe in any of those teams. I'm with you.
No, you're not going to tell me Andy Dalton's going to.
No, I don't see any of those teams. That Houston's taken a huge step backwards. Now you're probably looking at a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
I don't see any teams. I think Denver's probably going to go back, bro. The only thing that could stop him is if New England retools. If they go out and get Eric Decker. Say if they're able to steal Eric Decker from the Broncos. Gronk comes back healthy and plays all season. Stuff like that. Ridley bounces back, and
I think Denver's situation is similar to Seattle's. Their biggest issues are in their own division. They got to make sure they fight off KC and San Diego in that division, and then I think they're home free.
I think so too. I think Denver's going to be the odds-on favorite to win the AFC, and I like Seattle too. Let's see what Percy Harvin can do next year in year 2. He damn well made an impact in the Super Bowl, that's for sure. Let's see if he can stay healthy and stay on the field for the most part. I think that'll make Seattle even better, which is scary.
And he's signed through 2018.
It's scary. That team could be even better. And they've got a lot of guys still under contract. I think Sherman's due for a big payday, but next year
he's got one more year under this contract if they don't.
And they'll work to lock him up, as well as Earl Thomas. And Russell Wilson. But for next year, those guys are still all under contract. So, I think I give it a 50-50 shot. We might have a freaking rematch, bro. And let's see what happens. Much to Peyton Manning's chagrin.
Let's hope for a better
let's hope for a better Super Bowl. They'll call it the do-over.
Well, the Bills-Cowboys second Super Bowl was better than the first.
Oh, God.
At least for a half, it was a good first half.
It was a good first half. But I think that's all the time we have here on All Noise Radio. I know, man. Much to my dismay as well. That was really fun breaking down the Super Bowl with you, Ruggs.
Sure was, buddy.
But now that football's over, next week we're going to start talking about
life after football.
Life after football. Oh. It's sad. I mean, I don't want to pull a Philip Seymour Hoffman, because of it. Get a little depressed there.
Too soon.
Yeah, I won't. I won't.
We're not laughing about
I'm not doing that.
We're not laughing about what happened.
So next week we'll start getting into probably the Olympic hockey, which is coming up.
Yeah.
Definitely the NBA, because the All-Star break's coming up, and that's when the season really gets underway. Mm-hmm. We'll give our first half analysis of the NBA teams, and then we'll probably start getting into baseball because spring training's around the corner as well. Pitchers and catchers report on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
So we're getting there. Next week we're going to start jumping into other areas. No more football, unfortunately, and breaking down news and stuff as it comes. As stories come along, whether it's baseball free agents, injuries, yada yada, whatever happens. And guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for the support, and thanks for insulting me on my personal page. I really love it. The crackhead, retard. Keep it coming.
The guy out in Arizona that wants to fight Zuki.
I told him to subscribe. I said
that's awesome. As long as he's a fan, he could.
He wasn't
he
can
go to town on you. I don't think he's seen Zuki though. Zuki's not a little guy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. He might be. Who knows? But
you never know. But I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's bigger, tougher. But anyway. So keep it coming. Please keep the love coming. We really appreciate the likes and stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. And engage with us a little bit without insulting us. Without calling us retarded. We really appreciate if you didn't do that. You just have a nice, peaceful discussion with us, and we won't insult you in return. We'll tell you we love you, and that's really it, man. And until next Friday. Have a great weekend. Hopefully we don't get snowed in. If you travel, please be careful. Looking like we might end up getting 30 inches of snow. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully, we don't get that much. So everyone, please be safe. Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
Ruggs,
enjoy your weekend.
Ruggs, good times, brother. As
you got
usual,
it, buddy.
Good job, man.
Always is.
Yeah, man. So have a nice weekend, everyone, on All Noise Radio.
Take care, everybody.
Shook up ramen?
Yeah, soup.
Freeze. A call to the library could help her out. Good thing T-Mobile lets her call whenever she wants. Go.
It says here, pour some sugar on me. I'm hot, sticky, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
The most one-ever minutes, free long distance in roaming. Only from T-Mobile.
Get more.
How do I catch it?
Just stand there and stick your glove out in the air. I'll take care of it.
It's the Zuki and Ruggs Show on All Noise Radio.
Do you lack confidence and assertiveness?
Can you open my milk, Mommy?
Do people have a difficult time determining your gender? Do you take constant verbal abuse from strangers?
They are just a bunch of pansies.
Well, you're a man. Time to start acting like one. Try our brand new product, Man in a Can. This barely legal concoction comes in several invigorating flavors, such as aftershave, motor oil, and beer.
Stings the nostrils in a good way.
This stuff will make you a damn sexual tyrannosaurus.
Time to man up. Get Man in a Can today.
Why'd they get rid of the fighting? It's the best part of the old version.
I think kids were hitting each other or something, man.
Talking sports.
Yeah, but you know what, Mike? You can make their heads bleed on this. Make somebody's head bleed. In the playoffs.
It's the Zuki and Ruggs Show.
I'm gonna make Wayne Gretzky's head bleed for super fan number 99 over here.
On All Noise Radio.
Your energy drink losing its pizzazz. Are you feeling less amped when you need it? Is it lasting 2 hours instead of 5? It's time to try Mutant Soda.
Mutant Soda?
Yes, Mutant Soda made from the finest ingredients like frog snouts and puppy dog tails.
That's what my Mutant Soda's made of.
Your skin may turn green, you may even lose your hair, but this drink will give you energy like you never felt before.
The drinks I was up for 5 hours, but with Mutant Soda I was up for weeks. I haven't slept yet.
Mutant Soda, it will scare the out of you.